Hey guys, Dennis here with Revog Games. I'm joined by.
Joshua Weyers, all the way in South Africa, where it's cold and we don't have electricity half the day.
Yeah, and apparently there's not much news going on in the video game news that we're here to talk about, but there's some stuff. So maybe we'll just shoot the shit or whatever and talk about random
Why not?
stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, how you been? It's funny because you're like cold. It's like hot over here. Like I barely could. Like last night, I had a hard time sleeping because it was so hot.
Yeah,
Here in
man, it's
LA.
been it's been freezing over here. It's been I've actually been doing pretty good, which is nice. Unfortunate because we are having some serious electrical issues in South Africa at the moment. I think I mentioned
Hmm.
that last podcast. Has
Yes.
not gotten any better. Seems like they're expecting this to continue for a few months.
Hmm.
So I need to start looking at other possible ways to get the lights on, like an inverter, possibly even solar panels, kind of thing like that. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, so it's been tricky getting work done without electricity. I'll be honest,
So
and very
actually,
little gaming's been happening.
at the top of the show, I just want to mention this. We didn't put it on the rundown, but I remember hearing about it, and I just looked it up. It's so basically in South Africa, they're going to limit that children under 10
Yeah,
cannot
this
play
is
video
weird,
games with
man.
parental supervision. So as
How do they
a
how are
South
they gonna
African,
monitor this?
how can you
You
tell
know?
me like what is going on here? What's the
South
deal?
Africa constantly puts laws into place that no one takes seriously and like
Okay.
aren't going to be enforced.
Uh-huh.
So like if that does go through, it's one of those things where no one's gonna care. No one's gonna do
Mhm.
anything about it. It's like I don't know if I've ever told you this. One of the biggest scams in my country is a TV license, Dennis. You have to
Mhm.
pay. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. You have to pay a license to own a TV. Like, do you know how dumb that is?
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know how dumb that is? Like, oh, I was thinking about how funny that is the other day. Like, how do I have to learn? Like you don't apply for your license, you just pay for it. I was like, do I learn how to watch TV? Can I be a TV watcher instructor? Like, how
Mhm.
does this work? No, the country, they also try to put in place where you have to pay a TV license on your cell phone, laptops, monitors, anything that could like use internet or Netflix. And everyone was like, nope, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
And
a no-go
yeah.
here. That's a definite no-go in
So it's one of
America.
those things where yes, I do see them putting that in place, but no one's gonna follow
No
it
one's
or
gonna
care.
follow it.
And
So
how
it's
would how would they monitor it? Like how could they possibly monitor that?
yeah,
You know, we don't have electricity half the time, Dennis. What are they gonna do? You know,
yeah,
these poor kids, like they only got like 4 or 5 hours of electricity a day. Let them play their games, man. You know.
yeah.
But I guess it's for like a child endangerment kind of thing, which I understand. I
Hmm.
do think it is dangerous for minors, specifically young kids, to be playing online video games alone. You know,
Yeah, I
most of
do
those games,
think.
yeah, they're not old enough to play those games, but that doesn't stop them from playing them.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm not saying look, it's a free for all and kids should play whatever the hell they want at whatever age. I'm just saying like,
Parents just need a parent, man.
yeah, just make sure okay they're playing some like iPad game that's like very kid friendly. You know, I mean, when
Mm.
I was a kid, we were playing Nintendo games, and those were like, the graphics were so
Super family friendly as well.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly. So,
No, I used to. I played a lot of Fortnite with my nephew specifically, so that he wouldn't be playing with online strangers because he still plays it now. But at the time he was like 10 years old, and I wasn't
hmm.
too comfortable with the idea of him playing with strangers online and learning things that he probably shouldn't be learning. So I
Hmm.
used to play a lot of Fortnite with him. So I do understand the issue that they're also trying to raise. Child safety and stuff like that too, but it's just you can't monitor it. It's the dumbest, dude. Our country makes the dumbest laws sometimes, and then they just don't follow through with it. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Like I said, we only have electricity for like 11 or 12 hours,
Hmm.
so let the kids play whatever games they can. It's not, let them have what they can have.
Hmm. All right, so let's talk about kind of the video game news of the past week, and we'll probably do one more. You and me were talking
Yeah.
before the show. I'm gonna go on vacation to London, Norway, and Iceland, starting next week. But probably have some time to shoot one more podcast. I think before I head out. Um, you know. Too bad the internet isn't good enough in on the boat. Maybe we could do like a boat
Yeah.
edition, a boat edition of the
I was gonna
podcast.
say, we could get away with audio only, possibly,
Yeah.
depending on the
So
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
yeah, I know there is Wi-Fi on the cruise ship, but it's from what I heard, it's kind of like in and out.
Yeah, it depends on the areas where you are and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get started. So the first thing that kind of popped up is the Resident Evil Netflix show finally premiered.
Yeah.
It premiered today, which is a weird day for it to premiere, a Thursday. A lot of these shows. I know Disney does the Wednesday drop thing. A lot of people do the Friday drop thing, right? It's like the weekend, and hey, this is something kind of right in front of you. Put it right in front of you. Hey, you're gonna if you have time this weekend, or you're gonna have a chill weekend of not going out. Here you go. Here's something to watch. But Thursday drop, interesting. But the reviews have been pretty solid. Not People haven't been saying like, "Hey, this is the most amazing thing ever," but they're saying that it's pretty good. And compared to the most recent Resident Evil movie, Resident Evil has kind of taken their franchise, not including the video games. I'm talking about like spinning it off to like animation and movies and now the television show. So it kind of gets a little confusing of like, what's going on because they're not connected. But from what I've read, and I've only watched about like good 5-10 minutes of it, and it seemed pretty decent so far, is that, they do a better job at kind of telling the story and keeping it kind of focused. Are you excited, and what have you heard about the new Resident Evil TV show?
That's what I'm the most surprised about is that it dropped today, and I haven't heard it personally. I haven't heard a single thing about it. I haven't seen anybody talk about it online or anything. Like even when I check Netflix, like the first thing I do when I go on Netflix is I go to new and trending. If you're using it on PC in the
Yeah.
browser, and that's where I usually like find what's new and added there, and it just wasn't there. Like I had to manually search for it to find it. Which is interesting because you would think something like this, especially with like my watch history, that it would be the algorithm would throw it into my face, but it didn't. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I remember when I saw leaked footage from like a while back. It was one of those things where some of the shots looked really impressive, and then some of the shots looked a little low budget. And I don't mean like on the CGI side. I mean like on the actual like lighting and camera department. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple scenes that looked like they were filmed on like a student budget, but then there are other parts that look flawless. So I feel like that's the experience. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't seen any of it yet, but I feel like that's the experience I'm going to get, where the story's going to be good. There's going to be some really, really good scenes, and then there's going to be some not so good scenes. And the not so good scenes I can deal with as long as the acting is all right. If the acting is also bad, then like you need something good in a scene where the lighting and camera looks bad. You need something good,
Well, the
Either
good
story
thing
or acting.
is that the Lance Reddick, who you may know from the first
do
thing I
love
saw him
Lance Reddick.
in The
Yeah.
Wire, Fringe, and then
Mhm.
also John Wick. He plays Albert Wesker in the show, so that's a pretty good actor right there. I'm not familiar with some of the other.
He is a
actresses.
fantastic actor,
Yeah.
though. The thing with that as well is when you bring in like a top dog like him, or even like someone like Giancarlo, you know what I mean? When you bring like those like heavy hard hitting like drama actors, it kind of ups everyone else's acting game as well. Like I've noticed, like I've been on indie sets like that before where we've had like one, like they blew the budget on one really well known actor, and it just as someone who gets to play with that actor, it makes you want to up your game. So him being involved gives me higher hopes for the acting of the other people involved as well, which is good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out for sure. Just like I said, so surprised I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, like I said, a Thursday drop date is a little weird. Also, yeah, there wasn't. I did see, at least here in Hollywood, there were some billboards for Resident Evil, but they didn't really focus. That's the one thing that I think Netflix in general doesn't do very well. And I don't know if you know, but they're kind of in trouble right now. They've been doing a lot of layoffs. They've done budget cuts and whatnot because they kind of overspent their money. And look, not everything on Netflix is great, but they do have some good stuff on there. Some good shows and good movies. It's just they also make a lot of like I wouldn't say garbage. It's more disposable content where you kind of watch it or you don't, and people don't hear. The thing that they don't do very well is like hype up shows that they're releasing. They just like drop them, right? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I haven't seen a single trailer. I haven't like no marketing. Like I mean, in LA, like there'll be like the thing with LA is you'll see marketing for like the smallest, most obscure show just because it was filmed in LA. You know what I mean? So like you'll get that marketing, but I'm surprised not a single trailer dropped. There was no like, yeah.
It's sorry to go off on a tangent here,
weird.
but you know what I feel like this is? It is they believe in their algorithm too much. I think that may be the issue.
Probably. Yeah.
They think like this is the end all be all, and because our algorithm is good, we'll know exactly what you like, so it doesn't matter if we advertise it. It's like, no, man. Algorithms help, and they do help give maybe a higher percentage of you finding something you like, but it's not the end all be all. It doesn't mean something is good or bad, right?
Yeah.
It just means that how likely you are. It's like people who don't understand how Rotten Tomatoes is. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't tell you how people aren't rating how good the movie is, right? Like if you see a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, doesn't mean that everyone gave it an A, you know?
Yeah.
It means that it was well liked. They could have gave it all a B or C plus or something like that, and that made it a 90%. But anyways, the way the algorithm works is like it's most likely that you will like this certain thing because of your past watching history, but it's not, it's not guaranteed.
No. Man, I will say I'm a fan of the YouTube algorithm, though. While we're going off on this tangent, I'm a fan of the YouTube algorithm. I do, however, notice that sometimes I have to like hard reset my algorithm by like searching some really random stuff that I wouldn't usually watch.
Okay.
Just to like throw the algorithm off the loop so that I get like, because like I'll notice like I'll get the same stuff recommended to me time and like over and over again because it knows I'm gonna watch that. But like I like this that it sometimes gives me something new. Sometimes I'll get a video recommended to me that is from like someone with like maybe like 100 or 200 subscribers and it's got like 10 views. And that's rare for me because for years I would never get anything recommended to me that wasn't like, in the 100,000s of views or whatever. So I like that the algorithm in YouTube like is suggesting, like I found a lot of small creators because of that algorithm. So I'm a fan of the YouTube algorithm, but you need to like change it up every now and then by searching random shit.
I'll tell you something that I don't know. This is anecdotally, but I'm pretty sure it's true, is that they don't just check your YouTube search history. They check everything.
Oh,
like
yeah.
your
Everything
Google,
your
related,
yeah.
Your Google search. I think they even check like what the hell you're watching on stuff or whatever. Because I have stuff pop up in there. It's like I never searched that on YouTube. I know I searched for that somewhere else. Like on Google or if I'm watching a show on Amazon Prime, it's like, how does it know like kind of exactly where I'm at like in this TV season? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they start giving me content on the YouTube front page that corresponds to what I'm watching on.
I think that's because apps on your cell phone, as well as on the websites, how they work is. I know that this is how Facebook works. So I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube does the same. Whereas it knows the last thing you did before you were using Facebook, and it knows the thing that you do afterwards. You know what I mean? Yeah. It knows where you're coming from and it knows where you're going in terms of like information used or whatever. Because I've noticed that too before, where like I'll see something on Facebook and then it'll show up on my YouTube feed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyways, back to Resident Evil. I think it looks good. It looks a lot better than that movie. I didn't watch it, but I know that it wasn't well received, and it just didn't look that great.
I like the first couple of Resident Evil movies, the older ones.
Oh, you're talking about the Paul W.S. Anderson one. The only one I saw was I think the third one. I didn't like it. What was that one?
You remember that epic scene with the lasers and the guy gets turned into cubes? Like, it's these like lasers coming at him and he's stuck there and he literally like gets sliced up into a bunch of little cubes. Remember that?
I
think that was the second movie. I think that was Resident Evil 2. Yeah, I
I
could
only
be
watched
wrong.
I think I watched the third one. It was like Nemesis or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, I was not a
No,
fan.
no, the first two are pretty good though.
Yeah. So I'm going to watch this series. I think it looks like it has some potential.
Yeah, I'm
Like
gonna
it,
download it for sure. Which, by the way, thank God that Netflix allows me offline downloading because I have nothing to do when the power goes out. So thank you Netflix and YouTube actually for allowing offline downloads. That is amazing.
no, YouTube you got to pay for it. At least on
Oh,
the US version.
I got YouTube Premium.
Oh, yeah, premium.
Um,
No,
I use it
I've
so
regular.
much. It's dude, I get so many. Even with ad block, I get so many ads. It's like it's ever since I started paying for it, my life is significantly improved because I spend more time on YouTube than anywhere else on any platform.
Nice. Yeah, I just I always have Wi-Fi. The only time I'm not is when I go up on that plane
Mm.
for travel. So I'm gonna try and load up all that stuff. A bunch of because now like all the like Amazon Prime, HBO Max, they all have the download to your
Oh, that's sick.
device.
Okay.
But including Netflix, they all have issues, man. They all have like, oh, you're not subscribed, or sometimes it like tries to check online, and it's like,
Yeah,
dude,
you,
the whole point I
uh,
download this is so you can check it, so I can watch it
yeah.
offline, not for you
I
to
think
check if it's
I think there's
online.
a timeout. There's like a timeout limit where it's like you have to like I don't know what it is. Like say for
You have to
instance, like every
renew it or something
20
like that.
or like every 24 hours it needs an online connection to like authenticate that you do have an account and that you are
It's so
well, not every
annoying.
24 hours. I don't know what it is. I haven't had an issue yet, though. Well, to be fair,
I have.
my power goes out only for like 4 or 5 hours, so it usually comes back. I do like that. I do like the downloading. I like that they compress it as well because you're watching it on your phone or your
Yes.
tablet.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need large files.
No.
So I like the fact that it's very small. Like it downloads
You
super
can,
fast.
you can also
which is
choose
great.
what quality you want. If you're okay with like
Yeah,
not
true.
that great quality, you can pick
Yeah,
faster, smaller
if
downloads.
I'm on my phone, so I just use 720. You know, no need for anything higher.
Yeah. But yeah, gonna check out Resident Evil, see where it stacks up in the non-game Resident Evil universe, and yeah, and Netflix, man, advertise your stuff, like promote your stuff. There's like no.
Like I said, I had no idea that this dropped until you mentioned it. Like the fact that it's on Netflix right now, I feel like there should be more hype about it. Maybe I'm just in the wrong circles, but no, I'm definitely in the right circles, man. I think
Yeah.
everyone's still talking about The Boys, the season
Yeah,
finale.
Boys was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. The Boys and
It was.
Stranger Things. I'm not a huge like I like Stranger Things, but I was never like a huge Stranger Things
Yeah,
fan.
this last season was
Awesome.
excellent though.
Yeah.
It was, dude. It was like it was better than like I had to try to explain it to some people who they couldn't really get into the first season, and I was like, no, I don't. It gets better. I was like, I was like, it gets worse, but then it gets better.
Yeah.
Well, not worse. I loved all of it, but arguably the second season was like a bit lackluster compared to the
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
But this fourth season, this budget, it was, man, they upped the level. I can't wait for season 5, which is most probably going to be a series of movies, I'd imagine. You know, it's going to be. They said it's going to be very few episodes, and I'm assuming they're all going to be like hour long, maybe even 2 hour long episodes. Might just be like fucking 4 or 5 movies they release. Who knows?
My friend, who's an actor that I've worked with before, he's in like a couple small scenes in Stranger Things season 4. He's one of the Russian prisoners, so he gets to like
Oh, that's
deliver.
cool.
He gets to deliver like a couple lines when they're at that dinner scene. So it was cool
That's
seeing
cool,
him.
yeah.
Shout out to my buddy Constantine, who has shot a few videos with him before.
Did you finish The Boys or did you watch
Yeah.
the last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the ending for me was a little lackluster, but overall the season was pretty good, pretty strong.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm just, seeing where they go from here, because you can't keep, you got to take it down different paths, So
I can't believe I like felt bad for Noir in the end, man. Like I kind of like I felt so bad, like I felt so bad for him, even though I know that this man's probably murdered people without like a
That's-
shred of care in the world, you know.
Well, that's TV
Well,
shows for
then
you.
again, he
They
only
like,
has half a brain, so who knows? Yeah, it was good, man. I liked it. Season 3 was interesting. It's definitely losing its edginess, though. I'd say over the time, even though there were some like gory things, there were
there's
some
some
pretty insane
pretty
things this season.
gory and
Maybe we're
surprising
just getting
things.
desensitized to it. But
Well, the thing is, if they're doing that a lot, then you're just used to it. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
I
like
don't.
Herogasm was so. I was like, you know,
It was
and
about what I
Herogasm, man.
expected. It was about
Yeah.
what I
Look,
expected.
episode one, like I guess without spoilers, well, with spoilers, episode one blew me away the most with the dick sneeze.
Yeah, that was
If you
pretty.
that
Yes, I
was
remember.
intense.
Yeah.
The dick sneeze that was intense, man. Of episode one, the little guy, and then he sneezes. Yeah. Anyways, um, getting back on track here. So this I they dropped the ball with this. The Halo Infinite co-op beta.
Yes.
Still not a
Because
show.
they had been saying it's coming, it's coming. It's going to be the week of July 11th. It
And
is
here we are.
Thursday, the week of July 11th. So tomorrow is, I guess technically Saturday would be the last day, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen because it sounds like they are unable to get it working smoothly. So they're stopping. And look, I feel for them. Like, they're working on a game that's huge. I've only worked on small projects, smaller VR projects, and I see like all the technical issues that happen, even in projects 1/10 their size or whatever. So I can imagine that stuff happens, and it's tough. But at the same time, they do have a lot of money and they do have a lot of resources. So I don't know,
I mean, yeah, maybe they're just running into way more complications than you would imagine. And like I said, I'm sure once you take a lot of the mechanics into consideration, like if you have two Spartans using those mechanics together, I can think of like 20 glitches right off the top of my head that you could probably pull off. You know what I mean? And there's probably many, many more.
Yeah, so hopefully they get that, because I would like to play some co-op before hopping back into multiplayer, which I haven't done in a while.
That'd be sick. I haven't played multiplayer in a while, but I was really enjoying the tactical Slayer mode and Slayer. That seems to be the one that I keep coming back to out of all the game modes.
Yeah,
Those like 5v5 ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the tactical Slayer. It's like Battle Royale without being total Battle Royale. You know what I mean? Especially with
that's Lost Spartan Standing, I think.
Sorry,
The
you're right.
tactical Slayer is 5v5, but you have no shield, and you only have weapon. I think you only have like snipers or like long range weapons. Essentially, I could be wrong on that. I could be all the weapons, but the point is, there's no shields. It's essentially like a more realistic version of the game. Like if you kill someone, you kill someone.
I like Last Spartan Standing, and I like Slayer and Team Slayer. So
yeah,
those are my.
That's good.
All right, moving on to the next one. The Last of Us 1 remake developer says that it's not a cash grab because, people are complaining, and maybe rightfully so, that the $70 price tag for the remake is a bit steep for a game that essentially has been done, I mean, in the sense of the story's already been written, the locations and everything's been planned out, the levels are designed.
$70. I did not know. I did not know it was $70, Dennis. Dude, the Last of Us Part 1, the HD remaster, it was like $20 or like $30 when it came out. Like the fact that they're doing another remaster and then this one's gonna be $70, like it is from the ground up though, right? Or
yes, I mean it's. They're saying, look, there's going to be new animations, new enemy AI, and it's going to be 60 frames per second and an upgraded combat system. So, basically, what's his name? Robert Morrison, I believe his name, who worked on the game, said this is the most meticulously built and crafted project that I've ever seen or been part of in my entire career. And I'm not saying he's lying or anything like that, but I think maybe there's a little... what's the word, in the bubble in the bubble thinking of like when the consumer looks at it, right? The consumer, yes, they enjoy that you are taking this to another level, but at the same time they are playing a game most of them have already played before, and so most
like this is great for somebody who's never played the game. Like, it's great for somebody who's never played the game. Even at $70, I would tell them and be like, hey, play this game. It looks fantastic. Um, it's the thing for me is that the HD remaster, the one that they originally did,
Yeah.
for like the PS4, like that one doesn't look horrible. It doesn't look
No,
bad.
I played that.
By no means is it a bad copy or bad game. It's like, yes, this version does look like drastically better. You can argue it does look drastically better, but when you put the two side by side together,
It's
you
not
notice the
night and
differences.
day. It's not night
Yeah,
and
it's not.
day.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a console generation gap. It just doesn't seem that worth it to me. The AI tweaks, the animation tweaks. It's not going to be worth it for me. What I don't understand is why they would go through all this effort and then cap it at 60 frames. You know, like why not go? Why not go more? Why not go more? That's what I don't get.
My thing is, why not do a full package of part 1 and part 2 totally remastered?
Yeah, for like next gen and stuff.
And you want to do that like $60 or okay? Because remember Mass Effect Legendary Edition was, I think it was a full price, right? It was like $60. But remember that gave you 1, 2, and 3 remastered into
And
one.
It also had time on your side. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it'd been years, so like it has that replayability.
And you
It
also
has
had
been years since it's been years since Last of Us Part 1, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's just even if they did put their blood, sweat, and tears into this, and it's as amazing as they say it is, it's once again the issue of like most people have played the game. They're like, I'm not gonna get this. I might get it on sale one day just to have it on PC because I don't have it on PC. You know, but yeah, other than that, man, I don't see a lot of people buying it. I just don't. Like even people who love the game, I don't see them buying it because they probably already own it, you know?
Yeah, I own, I think I own 2 versions. I own the PS3
The original
version
and the
and the remaster, and the only way I'm going to buy this, like I said, is if it's in a set with part 1 and part 2 together and they're both remastered.
And part 2 just came out recently.
Yeah.
And that's essentially next gen already.
Yeah, it looks
Though
great.
I don't but neither of those are on PC, so if they did
No.
release them both on PC, I guess that would be worth it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Upgraded.
all right.
They say there's an upgraded combat system, which I don't know.
They said they're taking
how
the
upgraded
yeah, I don't
it
know how
is,
that
you know?
is, but I know the AI is they're taking it from Last of Us Part 2. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next thing. There's some Redfall details, which I think is pretty cool. I guess a lot of people were asking about the endings and the characters and would there
the
be
story.
multiple endings, and they said no, there's not going to be. And also, if you choose one character, you can't switch your character to a different character. They're really trying to make this as a kind of a singular, even though it's 4-player co-op, they want to make it like this kind of focus, almost like a single player game, even though it is 4-player co-op and open world. They want to kind of keep things a little more focused so that you are constantly making the characters, building the characters and upgrading them and everything instead of swapping. Because, like Back for Blood, like, dude, every level you can change who you're playing.
Exactly,
You know
change
what I
your
mean?
loadout and all that, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I like the fact that it's like they said, your character doesn't change the story. It's just the dialogue that changes. You know what I mean? Which means the characters will have different relationships with each other depending on who's teaming up and who's playing together, and they'll have different dialogue. But the story will be the same essentially, which I do quite like. There's no multiple endings, which I'm also happy with. In a game like this, I wouldn't want there to be multiple endings. It seems like it would get very, for lack of a better term, confuculated, if you will. It just, you know what I mean, with co-op and multiple endings, and I don't know. So I'm glad that the story at least will be quite linear, which when it comes to shooting games, I'm very happy with linear stories. You know what I mean? RPGs, give me something non-linear. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like shooting games, I'm more than happy to play something linear. Let me focus on the shooting and the fighting rather than the where am I going and what am I doing. You know.
And that's not to say that you can't play different multiple characters. It's just each one you build stays that way. You can't like be like, oh, I'm level 8, and then I'm gonna swap over to a different character, and he's also gonna be level 8 and have the same guns.
No, you gotta
and
start
the same.
fresh, man.
Yeah, so each
That's
you can
essentially
play different
starting a new
characters.
campaign,
Yeah. If you want to build a certain character, you got to build that particular character. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's quite cool as well.
I don't know. I'm getting more excited for
warming,
this.
I'm warming up to this game. The more we see
Yeah.
about it, the more I thought it was I thought it was more like gun orientated, and then they dropped that last trailer, and I was like, oh, there's way more involved than just guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Let's see here. Next thing. Oh, this one I know you're excited about. Well, maybe not
Yeah.
excited about.
Yeah.
So basically, Skate 4 is now going to be called Skate, and it's going to be free to play and have cross play and cross progression. So you said you had
Oh, Skate with a period by the way.
yes, lowercase
Like
s too.
Yeah, lowercase s.
So
So I knew about the
what are your
rebranding a long
thoughts?
time ago.
Okay.
I've been following this project since the day they announced it. The thing that I was most excited about, and the thing that I am still most excited about, is that they have their own skate council. And the skate council consists of a bunch of mainly YouTubers who make Skate 3 content. So they like not from day one, but essentially for like the past year, a lot of these YouTubers, they've obviously signed NDAs, they can't talk about it, but they have been like people who are critical about this game have been testing it from like day one essentially and playing it and giving their own input, which I thought was incredible, and that's awesome. Like for a studio to work that close to the community itself, to work with the people that play the game and like pull them and be like, hey, this is like the base, like they'll have like a very basic rough version of the game and be like, hey, tell us how you feel about, does it feel smooth, what's the animations like, what would you prefer to see, you know? And then I've seen a lot of leaked footage come out over the past year, which looked quite exciting. Eventually they did have to do a trailer, which I think we spoke about last week, which was their we're still working on it trailer. The reason they released that was because there was a lot of leaked footage coming out, and I think there's even possibly a leaked game or like basic version of the game.
I don't. I don't.
Yeah, I haven't been able to find it, but I've seen a lot of YouTubers who are like dropping their own like clips of actual like from the engine, and you can still see it's like quite fresh, you know.
Yeah, I think they did a developer. I don't know what you call it, like diary or whatever, where they showed off some of the game in its current state, and it's like, you know, obviously very. What's the word for it? It's very basic.
A lot of work, a lot of polish.
Yeah, they're trying to, like, graphically, if you look at it, it's not, you know, super detailed with tons of. They're just trying to get the fundamentals down, right? I mean, that's how you start off building a game. It's like, can I get the fundamentals right, and is it fun to play and all that stuff? So
yeah, which I will say that seems like they're nailing it for the most part from what I've seen, and from, like I said, YouTubers who I know are very critical about this IP, playing Skate 1, 2, and 3, and they like actively make content and YouTube videos about those games. They're very critical about it, and they've said it feels good. They've played it, and that's the most important thing, is if it feels, does it feel like Skate? And everyone said, yes, it feels like Skate, with a couple extra, they've added a lot of things like parkour. There's a lot more parkour you can do, like do flips and stuff. You can hang onto ledges. So they put a very big emphasis on that as well, besides just the skating itself. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little iffy about the free to play thing, because I will say as well, I'm glad that they announced this, because when they said it's free to play, it gave me a lot of clarity. Like, I know now that there's not going to be a story mode. You know what I mean? Right off the bat, there's not. It's a free to play game. There's not going to be a story mode. But what I do know, and they have been saying that they are emphasizing a big emphasis on multiplayer, and the multiplayer looks fantastic. And they even have these map creators where you can essentially make your own like Fall Guys maps kind of thing, and just have your people like ragdoll through it, like also like with GTA, like a map creator, like their map creator is built in a way where it's like, it's a skating game, but you can essentially build puzzles, you know, parkour runs, death runs, you know, all sorts of weird stuff, which I like. So I think they're going to nail the multiplayer aspect of it. I mean, they have to if they're making it free to play. That also means that there's going to be microtransactions. There has to be. How else?
Well, yeah. How are they going to pay for it if it's free to play? The question: are they going to be reasonable microtransactions? You know,
if they nail the game feeling and it's fun, I would pay. I would 100% spend money on microtransactions for this game because I know that they're all cosmetic. Like the mechanics of this game aren't going to be locked behind a paywall. They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
be like you know what I mean? Like it's the core mechanics of the game. It's not like you buy the Spider-Man game and they say, "Hey, you got to pay extra for swinging," you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to happen. Like it's the skating's going to be there. The only thing that's going to be different is how you look and like and in a multiplayer game that's going to be as social as this, I think that's going to be a big statement. I think that they're going to see quite a not a lot of success, but I think they're going to be pulling in quite a bit of money. If
Mm-hmm.
they do a battle pass, I don't think that there'll be a battle pass. If
Skate
they do, it's
pass.
like
Skate
skate
pass.
pass, yeah. If they do it though, it's like I'm wondering how they're gonna go about like the objectives and stuff. You know what I mean? And what you have to do. I don't know. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. I'm just happy that it's coming to PC. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
cross-platform. It looks good so far. A little iffy about the free-to-play aspect of it, but that could be a good thing for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I would have dropped $70 in this game, which is it's not a $70 game, but I would have. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because I've been wanting this game for more than a decade, Dennis, and the fans of this series have been waiting for more than a decade. Like it's insane how long we've been wanting this game, and it's finally happening. So I would easily drop that money on it, but I don't. But I think that that's a very niche and small market. So the fact that they're going free to play, maybe it'll bring in a whole bunch of new people. Maybe they'll make so much more money that they can eventually maybe do what they did with the previous games that were popular was they would do DLC and expansions, but with very popular pro skaters. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Where it's like, hey, we brought Day One Song in. You can skate around with him and do some missions with him in this DLC. You know, I like that. Like, I hope that they do bring in a lot of actual people into the game, even though it's a free to play game. And I understand like IP is difficult. It was one of the things where like playing skateboarding games, it's always cool because it's like you're playing with your favorite skaters. You know what I mean? Or like you get to do a mission from like your favorites, like Rob Dyrdek's like, hey, go do this thing, and you're like, okay, Rob Dyrdek, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I hope to see a bit of that. Either
Yeah.
way, looking forward to the game. A bit iffy on the free to play, but I don't think it'll change the gameplay. Like from what I've seen, like it's going in a very positive direction. So I don't think the free to play is not going to ruin the game. I'm just wondering how it's going to long term. It
Mm-hmm.
might ruin their end goal, or like it might, I don't know, like they might start developing game modes essentially for milking money on some kind of microtransaction. I'm just scared it goes that way. You know, in years from now, I'm scared that they abuse it.
I'm
That's all.
hoping they're doing it because they want to get a bigger player base. I mean, look what happened with Fall Guys recently. It was already
Yeah,
popular, was it
yeah,
last year or maybe the year
and
before?
then
I can't remember when the
it
hit
was
was for
last year.
the,
Yeah, it fell off
but then
hard,
it fell
and then
off
yeah,
hard,
dude,
and then they made it
now it
free to
came back.
play, and now it's like millions because
I actually play it regularly now, specifically because I have people to play with, because it's
uh,
free to play. You know, you can just be like, hey, download the game, let's play it. You know what I mean?
when it first became popular, I thought it was free to play. I was like, isn't that like totally a free to play type of game? Where you
I
could
think when
totally,
it came out, it was free to play on. Well, if you had PlayStation, it was free for you. It was
yeah.
PS Plus
Mm-hmm.
that month. It was on its launch month. But yeah, no, I think their main reason for going free to play is just because they realize that they're putting so much passion into this project, and it might not be enough for them to like warrant a sequel or like a Skate
Yeah.
2 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think going free to play makes sense. It also gives it longevity because it's the engine that they've built. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have to make a Skate 2 if they can just keep adding onto this initial game and just making it one
Mm-hmm.
giant Skatopia, which
Yeah.
man, I am looking forward to this game. I just hope it comes out sooner than later. Which, but from what I've been seeing,
Well,
it's still good. It's probably
that
gonna be
footage
later.
is it says
Yeah,
pre alpha
yeah.
footage. That's what it
I
says
know.
on the so. I
It's
think it's gonna
like
be a
some of the
while.
footage. Some of the footage I'm seeing are like like literal stick figures. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
All right, there's a bunch of like little gameplay trailers that have been coming out for some smaller, not smaller games because they're not like, but they're just not triple
Yeah.
A titles. But like, okay, that multiverses game from Warner Brothers that like
Mm-hmm.
it has a very strange mix of like it's basically Smash Brothers but using the
I've
Warner
heard good things
Brothers.
about it though. Like
But I mean, it has
from
like
people who have played
so
it or tried
like
it.
think about this: Batman, Superman, Bugs Bunny, Arya Stark,
Arya Stark.
and now they showed Iron Giant. Like that is such a weird combination of different characters. I don't watch that show, but like, what's his face? Like Steven Universe is in there.
Yeah.
It's just like a. I don't
I haven't
play
seen
Smash
it.
Bros, so
There's so many things that have been interesting to see. I'm wondering, I don't, because it is Warner Brothers. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any like Harry Potter involved at some point in time. You know
well, I
what I
think
mean?
there's Matrix characters too. I think
Yeah, there are. I
yeah.
think there are. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Uh,
It's. I like that there's a lot of
Batman, Superman,
choices. Um,
Scooby Doo.
is this and then let's see. They're gonna have a early access period starting on July 19th, which is not that far from now.
Mm. I know there was a couple YouTubers had early access to this a while ago, and they were really enjoying it. They said it's literally just Smash.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just Smash Bros, but with like I'm more, arguably more iconic characters in the West, at least. You know.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Superman, Batman, Wonder
Like
Woman, Scooby Doo,
I mean, like
Tom
Arya
and
Stark, of all
Jerry,
people, you know.
Tom and Jerry.
Crazy.
Yeah. There's
Oh, and there's an original character, Rain Dog.
Rain Dog.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from that, but original characters make sense because that's probably to fill a certain fighting type that needs to be there for balance, most likely. Yeah, 4-player. Yeah, this does look fun. This does look fun. I never got into Smash because Nintendo wasn't that popular when I was a kid, or like out here Nintendo, like the big like console boom started with the original PlayStation out here. Technically, you know, you had a couple people who had like their Segas and their old like old school Nintendo, not even Super Nintendo. It's just like the old NES. You know what I mean? We didn't even we did like I think we got the GameCube, but no one bought it. The SNES. No, sorry, the N64. We never got the N64. Or like if we like I didn't know a single human who owned it. I only heard about the N64 like years later. It's funny. So I never got to get into those games until college, but man, that is such a fun competitive game to play with friends, especially like couch co-op. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so this is a free to play, so anyone can play it when it finally comes out, and then basically they're gonna be selling different skins, you know,
Yeah, essentially. Which I honestly could
and
also be great 'cause it's like,
different
it could be
emotes
funny,
and stuff
man.
like that. So
Like different Batman, Superman skins, different that's so funny, man. Different Shaggy skins. Yeah. No,
free to play.
I'm looking forward to this. Do we know if
Open
this
beta.
is,
Open beta,
all-
July 26th. What's up?
is it on all the
I believe so.
platforms?
I believe so.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming so.
Yeah. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series
Nice.
XS, Xbox One, and PC. I mean, it's it's not a graphically intensive game, so it's gonna. I think this is just for all ages, free to play. They're just trying to get the biggest audience possible with this.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on. Another gameplay trailer. So remember the Lord of the Rings Gollum game
Yeah.
that we had seen like a year or two ago? They had shown like this teaser trailer that had like pre-rendered graphics. So this is the
I was
first
gonna say,
time.
I don't know if it's just me, but this looks worse than what we saw the first time.
Yes, because the first one was like a cinematic.
yeah.
This is like the actual gameplay. It looks not
This looks
good.
ass, dude. This looks ass. Yeah. This looks really bad.
Like
Here's
the
yeah.
character models are very PS3, not even like PS4, like PS3.
It's like late PS2 cycle, early PS3 cycle kind of days. Yeah. Here's the thing: when we first saw this game get announced with that CG trailer that we saw, which looked better than this, and that's funny because I thought that trailer looked bad. I was like, oh god, I hope the game looks better than this, and the game looks drastically worse. I wasn't excited to play because right off the bat I was like, this looks boring. I enjoy stealth games, but only because of the stealth killing. You know what I mean? Otherwise, stealth games are pretty boring and repetitive. And it's like I don't really want to run around as Gollum and do nothing. But I was excited about the story, like because because they were gonna dive deep into the story of like Gandalf in his early days and that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm there for the story, but there's nothing that can I need rubbing alcohol for my eyes after what I just saw. That was horrible. Like, I'm over exaggerating, but it is bad. It is like it's genuinely bad.
It's
like,
very look. If you saw this for a mobile game, you'd be like, cool, fine. You know what I mean?
I thought this was mobile. I thought this was like a different Gollum game, not not the Gollum. Oh my god! Like genuinely, I thought it was like a mobile spin-off game or something, but no.
Okay,
It's
so
horrible.
now the issue is, well, not issue, but one of the concerns besides that is that it's supposed to release on September 1st of this year. So it's not like you got plenty of time to, make this thing look that much better, right? I mean,
No, that's the game, Dennis. I'm telling you right now, the game's probably already done, and that's it. Like, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure that's it. Oh God. Why?
yeah.
That's shameful, man. Like, really, I really was like, even though it's not my type of game. I love Lord of the Rings, but this is just not my type of game, anyways. The way it works with the mechanics, I really was like thinking that they would have done a better job than what they like announced a year ago, and it's so much worse.
It's coming to
It's so
Nintendo
much worse.
Switch. It's coming to Xbox Series X and S,
Dude, I feel
PS5,
like
PC.
of course it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. It can be run. It looks like a potato could run it. You know what I mean? Which I'll mention it now because it's not really worth mentioning. But apparently you can now play Doom inside of Doom. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I think I saw something like that.
Doomception. People
Yeah.
like both. I think a computer within Doom itself and that can run Doom. Anyways. Uh,
All right.
RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop Rogue City gameplay trailer reveal. It's interesting that with RoboCop because RoboCop is a property. Obviously, it was a movie franchise that was very popular in the '80s, and he's iconic. But they had that one reboot movie. But as a whole, like, do people? I'm just wondering, like, does the younger generation know who RoboCop is? You know what I mean? Like,
No,
have
but
they
thank
watched
God,
the
thank
movies?
God the name sells him. Like I can tell you right now,
Yeah,
there's some kid going out there that he has no idea who RoboCop is, but he's gonna read the word RoboCop and go, "Whoa, a robot cop,
yeah.
badass!" You know, like the name luckily sells itself. I will say, oddly enough, the gameplay reminded me a lot of Cyberpunk's shooting mechanics.
Yeah, look
Uh,
look kind of
sh-
cool.
the shooting mechanics were quite similar to that. It doesn't look like the best game, I'll say, but it doesn't look like it's not nearly as bad as the Golem thing we just saw now. It actually looks. I know that this is probably going to sound like an insult, but this game looks like it would have done amazing in the late 2000s. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like this seems like it would have been a freaking like perfect PS3 game. And I know that sounds like it's probably an insult, but I just feel like not just the IP would have done a lot better at that time too. You know what I mean? Like 10 years ago or so or more. But like the gameplay and like the game itself, it looks like it would have done amazing on the PS3. Will
So
I be playing this and picking it up? I don't know. I don't think so.
hopefully it's on Game
Unless it's
Pass.
if it's on sale. If it's on sale, I'll pick it because it does look a bit fun. You know,
Uh,
parts of it looks fun for
See what the
sure.
reviews say. What do people say
Yeah,
about it? It's not coming out until June 2023, so it does have
it's
a
a
little
long
bit of
time to
time.
polish it. Yeah.
But I mean, the graphics look pretty polished. Yeah. See if there's a good story to it.
I hate the name though,
What Rogue
just because
City?
it just makes me think it's a cell phone game. I don't know why.
Uh,
Like RoboCop Rogue City, and it's like it makes me think of some kind of like microtransaction little city builder or something. I don't know.
but Peter Weller, who played Alex Murphy in the first RoboCop, he's also going to be, I think, doing the voices here too. So, which is nice
Nice.
to get the original guy back into it. I don't know. I'll keep my eye on it, see if there's any buzz about it. Now, this one isn't a gameplay trailer, but it's like a reveal trailer, and they don't even have a title for it. But it's a Terminator game. But what makes it interesting is that it's a survival game, which kind
Yeah.
of makes sense given
I guess you're getting
Terminator.
hunted. Like you're probably being hunted by the Terminator.
Yeah.
That kind of aesthetic. Yeah.
And also, you're in a post apocalyptic world, and you probably have to do the best you can. So it's kind of.
I would
I'm,
have assumed that they would have done something like Dead by Daylight. You know what I mean? But that's not
hmm
a survival game. You know, that's the whole thing of
hmm
like there'll be like the Terminator and then 4 or 5 of the people trying to do something while being hunted by the Terminator.
hmm
That's what I assume they would have done. Which that genre is suffering from some slight genre fatigue at the moment.
hmm
Not too much though. So I'm glad they're doing it's quite out there, but that's interesting. A survival game. I feel like that could scare the shit out of me, even though it's probably not supposed to be scary. I feel like it could scare the shit out of me. You know?
I'm a
having a bunch of
fan of
fucking like
the Terminator IP. You know, like you
yeah.
know, the movies. I actually liked the last one. What was that? Dark Fate.
Mm.
Um, there was a
I
few
enjoyed
run.
the Sarah Connor Chronicles,
Oh, I
or
love that
was that a
show.
TV?
Yeah,
Was
that was
yeah,
good.
I loved that. That was
There was a
sick.
few
Yeah.
movies in the middle there that weren't that great. But
Mm.
you know, as a whole, I think that the
Good IP.
concept and the whole
It also works for
property
video
is
games. Like those like metallic
really
bodies and
cool.
stuff. Like they can do some kick-ass
Judging
effects
from
in
how
video
the
games.
box office was for
The last
Dark
Terminator.
Fate, it seems like maybe this newer generation is not a big fan of maybe this property. So
Yeah, no, but I'm excited for this nonetheless. It's just interesting. It's
all
an
right,
interesting
move
choice
on
survival game.
to what's this one? Oh, this is the last one I have, which is an Aliens game for VR. It's coming to PC
Oh hell
and
yeah!
console. Well,
That'll
it's
be
coming to
sick,
PC,
man.
console, and VR. So remember, this is Aliens. This is the second one, the
Mm.
one James Cameron did. I love that it's coming to VR. So there was that Alien Isolation game, which was kind of highly well received.
I would
by,
have liked
by
that
fans.
game in VR.
And there is
Like,
a
I would
VR
like a game
version
like that
for
in
it,
VR. Yeah. Oh,
but
really?
it was never designed for VR. It was, I think it was
Yeah.
like they had a PC version and then they eventually kind of like ported it over to VR. And then in this one, it's okay. Not that they're making it specifically for VR, but VR is in mind when they're making this thing. So what do you think? Are you excited for Aliens on VR, or maybe even just the console version? But you have a Quest now,
No,
so
a VR, man. I'm excited. Look, this is an IP that I think would like flourish in VR. And I
Mhm.
know we said it just now, but that Aliens Isolation game, if there is a VR mode for that game, I'm definitely gonna try it out because
Yeah.
when I played that game, immediately the first thing I thought the first thing I thought of was I was like, I would love this in VR. Um, it's okay. So there's also multiple aliens, which we can tell from like the little picture that we see. So I'm wondering what type of game is it going to be. If it's if they're doing VR horror, I think they'll do something similar to Alien Isolation, but with more aliens. Um, but at the same time, I would love something like Aliens Fire Team. You know what I mean? Where you just like you just got your guns, you're just mowing down the fucking aliens and shit. I don't think it's going to be that. It's most likely going to be something horror related. I think it's going to be something very similar to Alien Isolation. Either way, though, like I said, that IP just works in VR. Whether it's going to be me shooting a bunch of shit or if it's going to be me hiding from shit, it's going to work. You know, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean,
think
Aliens
it's
was a much more action oriented movie.
yeah.
Where Alien was, you know, more horror. So yeah, interesting.
So
to see.
maybe it will be like the Fire Team game
Mhm.
then, but in VR. That'd be cool.
So, all right, I think that's it from my end. Do you have anything?
No, but we will be knowing. I have a few small things. Sorry.
Okay.
We will be hearing more on July 21st at the San Diego Comic Con about this game, this Aliens game.
Yes.
So we will
Oh,
be
and
getting, more news.
more nerdy note. It's I think it's probably the first game, at least the first game announced that's going to be on the Quest that is using the Unreal 5 engine. Or maybe it's
that's sick.
Yeah. So
I don't know if I literally don't know of any games right now currently using Unreal Engine 5 on the Quest that is. So I think you're absolutely
No.
right.
yeah, I don't think anything has been announced. There's been plenty of like console PC games that are using the Unreal 5 engine or announced that they're using that or transferring or adapting what they have to Unreal 5, but nothing in the VR. From what developers have told me is that Unreal 5 currently doesn't have that, to be honest, doesn't have that much going on for VR specifics. It's definitely much more geared towards console PC, and then also the film industry, film and television industry. I think a lot of stuff in Unreal 5. So
Yeah.
all right.
I was gonna say that's a game changer for sure.
Yeah. So what else did you say you had?
I mean, well, how could this is something you mentioned. I read this as soon as it dropped. This is just a little bit of fun for us here because I know we both love Elden Ring. How could you forget, Dennis? The let me solo her.
Yes, yes, I forgot
He
that
got
one.
sent a sword, man. He
Yeah,
got sent a really badass claymore, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure that's a claymore.
yeah.
Um, hell yeah, dude. That's gotta be sick. Like, I'd be on top of the moon if I was that guy, man. I'd be on top of the moon. It's like not only
It's
have
a
I
pretty
fucking
badass sword
it's
that
a
he
pretty
got.
badass. It's a badass gift as well. Like the box it
Yeah,
comes in, the congratulations. Like
yeah.
that's what gets it for me, man. The congratulations note. Like they
That
know how
box is
fucking
pretty
hard he must have
badass.
worked. Yeah.
Look at
Oh
that.
yeah, it is.
Rise Tarnished.
It's
This
the Klein
is.
Suboi, aka
Yeah.
Let Me Solo Her. Congratulations on your great accomplishments from the Bandai Namco team. You know, as much as I have my gripes with Bandai Namco, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, so it's technically that's from Bandai Namco, not from software. I thought it was from software, from software.
Well, yeah.
You know, that would have
Still.
been cooler. That's still sick though. Yeah, what great packaging. That's kick ass. Um, okay, no, actually, I'm not gonna mention this. I thought this looked cool, but it's not really that cool. Oh, speaking of Fall Guys, so Kirby's Dream Buffet is coming to Switch, and it's essentially Fall Guys,
Mm-hmm.
but with little
Using
Kirby's instead.
Kirby's. Okay.
And it makes sense because whenever I'm looking on the Switch and I'm looking at like current deals and current offers, there are so many like knockoff because Fall Guys isn't on the Nintendo Switch, or actually it might be now. I'm not too sure, but for a long time it wasn't.
It
And
would
there
be
were so
perfect for
many,
Nintendo
yeah,
Switch.
dude, there were so many knockoff games. You know what I mean? Like Fall Dudes, or you know what I mean? Like there were
Fall
so many
dudes.
knockoff games. So it would make sense that Nintendo had made their own. And yeah, dude. Well, Nintendo is made for party games. Ever since I started, I don't know if I ever did the review for the Switch Sports, but I really enjoyed Switch
Mm-hmm.
Sports. I can't wait for the expansion. It's a great party game. You're obviously not gonna be playing it for hours, but it's like it's a great way to like break the ice and get people to talk to each other and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that looks interesting. I'm keen to look that up. Kirby's Dream Buffet. That is all the news I have.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, guys. That's it for this episode of the Revog Games podcast. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Revog. You can find us on Spotify, Anchor.fm for our weekly podcast. You can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero, Instagram, Dennis.tzng. And Josh, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitch at It's Thespis, all one word, all lowercase. Or you guys can find me in the Revog Discord channel.
Yeah.
There should be a link in the description below, and
Yep.
I'm more than happy to talk about games.
Cool. All right. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Later.